Hey, I'm Markia. Want to hear something scary?
Sister Siren. When they were little girls, Deirdre and her identical twin sister Kira were fascinated by the old ghost stories of the sea around their village, especially the mysterious drownings at the hands of the Irish merfolk known as the Miro. These demonic sirens would wear magical hoods, allowing them to walk on land and hunt for victims to lure into the sea. Kira loved the legends and would play dress-up as one of the murderous mermaids, but as she got older, her fascination with the creatures began to worry Deirdre. Kira's morbid curiosity was becoming an obsession. One strange night, Kira began singing in an inhuman voice to the sea just beyond their doors. Deirdre covered her ears as the song grew louder, and then suddenly, her sister ran outside to the waiting waters. Kira rowed their family's small paddle boat far from shore as Deirdre called to her to come back home. But Kira couldn't hear her sister over her own voice, singing to the depths around her. Beneath the full moon, Deirdre was helpless as she watched something wicked rise from the sea to join her sister's singing. The creature embraced Kira with scaled arms and clawed hands, just as its menacing red eyes stared across the water at Deirdre from under its hooded cowl. She knew it was the Miro. Kira's obsession had finally come for her. The Miro bit into Kira's neck, and the two plummeted into the black water, leaving no trace to ever be found. Months became years, but Deirdre never left her family home. Something inside her refused to let go of her sister. She walked the shore every night hoping to find something left of her beloved Kira. One day, Deirdre's friend Tara phoned her in tears. Her boyfriend Liam left the pub with some woman, and she followed them to the lighthouse where she saw them kissing. As Tara described a woman that bore more than a passing resemblance to Deirdre, she knew it was her sister. Kira had somehow returned. Deirdre frantically drove to the lighthouse. She didn't know how her sister had resurrected from the sea, and she didn't care. She didn't care about her stealing Liam from Tara. She only knew that her sister was finally home. At the lighthouse, the sea raged. White rabbit foam shot into the sky as the black water crashed into the jagged rocks along the coast. A putrid, rotting stench filled the air as if the shore itself was some long, undiscovered corpse. Every instinct told her to leave when she arrived, but Deirdre had never given up on her sister, and she wouldn't start tonight. The raging wind seemed to whisper her name. Deirdre, Deirdre. Was it whispering her name? Was Tara calling to her, or was it Kira? As she neared the lighthouse, the sand grew wet and sticky. Deirdre looked down and discovered a trail of blood leading to a gasping and dying Liam. Once she was closer, she could see the deep gouges in his throat denying him breath. He was mouthing a word that seemed to be Miro. He weakly raised his hand and with the last shreds of life pointed to the rocky shore beyond. The closer she got to the shore, the whisper grew louder and to a more persistent, distinct voice. She ignored the danger and lied to herself about the origin of that voice. It was Tara. Tara needs my help, she thought to herself as it called to her yet again. Deirdre, Deirdre. At the shore, she saw Tara sitting in a familiar paddle boat, the same boat that once belonged to her and her sister. She excitedly ran to it to ask Tara if she had heard the whispers as well, but Tara was dead, her bloody torso propped up inside the boat. She recoiled in horror from the grisly scene and stepped backwards into the waiting water behind her. This time, she loudly and clearly heard her sister calling her name. Deirdre! Deirdre! She slowly turned around to see what used to be her identical twin sister rise from the violent sea. Now Miro, Kira's scaled skin glowed a sickly green in the full moon's light. She smiled at Deirdre, her once perfect teeth now razor-sharp fangs dripping with human blood. No longer a mirror image, just the distorted, horrific reflection given from troubled waters. Is that really you? Deirdre cried as she looked into unnatural red eyes. The homicidal siren swam closer. "You heard my call, sister. It is me." Kira gently caressed Deirdre's hair. "I had to come back for you. I have so much to show you. Will you join me?" Deirdre tearfully nodded, and Kira grabbed her sister's shoulder with her clawed hands. The two screamed together in one final song, and then the Miro bit into Deirdre's neck and dragged them both down into the deep water. The sisters were reunited. The night was quiet for now, but the bloody reign of the Siren Sisters had only just begun.